been asked to relay a request from the Gramercy Rifts. It's a special for the Warriors. The Warriors! That's that real live bunch from Coney. It's Young Cyrus! Here's a hit with them in mind.
Old school effects out here.
Yo, I'm an addict, addicted to being savage. My life is a little graphic, like HBO making magic. I'm rapping to make that passive money coming from traffic, doing mental gymnastics. I'm fluid and problematic. You losing if you come at me the wrong way. I've come a long way from sipping on Bombay.
Back when I was a little guy, a wee lass, a wee little fucker, there was a movie that enthralled me like no other. It was a movie I definitely shouldn't have been watching, but then again, I watched it anyway. And how couldn't I? The movie had everything. It had gang violence, it had a badass protagonist, it had homophobic remarks that I forgot were in the movie, it had a hot girl, and her titties were just fully peeking through her shirt. But this was in 1979. Bras, not yet invented. The North Tower, still there. Bill Clinton had not yet had sexual relations with that woman. Times were simpler back then, when I was just a young lad at negative 25 years old. A movie that completely changed my perspective on what movies even were when I was like 4. Did I mention I shouldn't have been watching this? Before getting into the Warriors, I need to preface a couple things. Number 1, the film had a spin-off video game that's a prequel and sets up events in the film that, I do love the game. I will not be looking at it today, though someone might at some point in the future. Who the hell knows? The film was also an adaptation of the 1965 book of the same name, which the story actually has very little to do with the film, with the book actually having the gang of warriors be an actual family that are named the Dominators. And though it's implied that Ajax is about to at one point in the movie, the warriors never actually stoop to the levels of the Coney Island Dominators in the book. I'm not going to describe what they do because I will immediately get demonetized, but let's just say it involves the word no. Another thing is there's a couple different versions of the film, the regular cut and the director's cut. Director Walter Hill says the director's cut, he added these little cutaways that make the film like a comic book, and a quote to begin the movie from the book's source material, the ancient Greek story Anabasis. Walter here thought it would greatly improve the film to add these, and he's the director and he thinks it's the best version. I, however, disagree. I feel like it messes with the pacing and generally makes for a less great watching experience, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's his movie and I respect his image, but for our purposes for this video, I'm looking at the original version. Side note, in this film's first little hit of inclusivity and progressiveness, in order to do the book justice, Walter Hill initially wanted to cast mainly black and Hispanic people to be the main characters, but the studio said no outright for what they call commercial reasons. But this was the 1970s, so I think we all know what the real reason was. With all that prefaced, we can finally get into the video. The film begins with a montage of Coney Island showing the Wonder Wheel and the subway in just different parts of 1970s New York that really makes you feel like Spider-Man. It then cuts to the different warriors talking about a gang meeting of all the gangs of New York that they have to go to in Queens, and Ajax starts spewing homophobic slurs like Danny Green spews wide open threes. The leader of the gang, Cleon, begins telling his fellow warriors that they need to make it all the way from Coney Island to the Bronx to see the one and only Cyrus, but we'll get to him in a minute. They hop on the subway to get to the Bronx, with the different warriors talking to each other spliced in there. Cleon tells Rembrandt to tag every service he can while they're on their way to and from the Bronx to show that the warriors have been there. I should list off the warriors to let you know who were on this grimy trip through 1970s New York. There's our leader, Cleon, a fearless leader who keeps our warriors in check. Our second in command, Swan, a brooding hard-ass type. Ajax, who's kind of a terrible person. He's a resisting authority type. Growing up, I thought he was a badass. Later, you'll see just how wrong I was. There's Cowboy. He's just a street grunt with a cowboy hat. There's Rembrandt. He takes care of all the spray paint stuff. Get it? Rembrandt? Like the painter? Then there's Vermin. He's the one that looks and talks like a weasel and is ungodly sweaty in the middle of the night in New York. I think this movie was filmed in October of 1978, so there's no reason that he should have been sweating like that. There's Fox. No, not that one. Yeah, that one. He's a silent street soldier. Snow, he's Swan's right-hand man, and Coach Easy. He's just another soldier. He doesn't really say much in the movie during the montage. It also shows the other gangs of New York also making their way to the Bronx. Mainly the Warriors are talking about how Cyrus is noting that one thing everyone knows about him is he's magic. A whole lot of magic. Cyrus wants a truce. No weapons on the turf of Cyrus's gang, the Gramercy Riffs. They finally make it to the gang meeting, and Cyrus gives one of the greatest speeches ever. And really, I can't do it justice. You'll just have to watch some of this.
One gang could run this city. Nothing would move without us allowing it to happen. Because we got the streets, suckers! Can you dig it?
The police roll up to the gang meeting and watch over. Cyrus is so enigmatic, he has all the gangs enthralled, all interested in the gang truce, so they together can take over the city of New York. The meeting is going incredibly well. Enter Luther. Just when all was well, our antagonist Luther decides to go and kill the Messiah for no apparent reason, creating one of the most bone-chilling and threatening backstabbings in all of cinema, including when Marty McFly stole his own very hot mother from his dad.
Dork thinks he's gonna drown. Yeah.
The police turn on their sirens and all the gangs scatter. All hell is breaking loose until finally Luther blames the Warriors for shooting Cyrus. Cleon begins to beat up Luther and the rest of his gang, and he has the upper hand until the Riffs, who are taking Luther's side because they don't know any better, and the Riffs overpower and presumably kill Cleon in this fight. You may be thinking to yourself, wow, so much has happened. The end must be coming up soon. Well, strap yourselves in, because this is going to be a long one, as we're not even 20 minutes into the movie yet. The remaining warriors flee the scene, making it to a cemetery where they evade the police, and Swan tells the warriors they need to make their way all the way back to Coney Island with 72 miles, 20,000 police officers, and 200 rival gangs in their way. Swan and the other warriors agree. Swan is war chief. Now, well, everyone except Ajax, who claims he has every right to take over as war chief. Tension rises till Vermin tells them the train's on their way, and Rembrandt tags a grave on his way out. The Riffs have a meeting with the new war chief, saying he wants the warriors alive or dead, and to get the word out. This is where we get introduced to our DJ. She checks in with us every now and then, and she plays Nowhere to Run for the Warriors, essentially telling them that they're screwed. As the song plays, there's a big montage of all the gangs looking for the Warriors. A few choice rival gangs are the Baseball Furies and the Boppers. Now we're finally on to Act 2. The Warriors are waiting for their train, and it's almost to them, but then the rival gang, the ACs, show up in a bus to chase the Warriors down. The Warriors have to make it to their train, so they decide to make a break for it. Ajax, being the last to make it to the other side, flips them off in defiance. The large gang chases the Warriors through the New York City substation, and the Warriors make it to their train. They're safe, for now. The Riffs are informed that the Warriors are on the train, and a rival gang, the Turnbulls, blew up the train tracks. So the Warriors would have to get off the train in the middle of Brooklyn. Now we're with the Rogues, and Luther is on the phone, giving a tip to someone that the Warriors are on the train, and they steal some candy and terrorize the lady running the snack stand. The Warriors find another rival gang that weren't at the gang meeting. They're known as the Orphans, a gang that no one takes seriously. The Orphans take notice of the Warriors as Swan faces up to the leader of the Orphans, this homeless, Ross Geller-looking guy. Swan takes Fox to talk to them, telling them that they don't want any trouble, they just want to make it back to Coney. Fox lies to the Orphans to tell them that they're bad, and the leader of the Orphans tells them that they can run through their territory as long as they come in peace, until the hottie hot with no bra, Mercy, calls the Orphans chickens for letting the Warriors pass through, also asking for one of the Warriors' colors. Swan denies it. Mercy tells the Orphans that if they let the Warriors walk through their turf with their colors on, every gang alive is going to walk all over them. Then Fox partakes in a little slut-shaming, and Mercy shuts him down. The Orphans begin to surround the Warriors because Mercy got in their head. Mercy begins to follow the Warriors just because she's looking for trouble and wants to join their outfit. Ajax grabs Mercy and holds her hostage. Swan threatens her with a gang-related activity on her, which is not good. Like, come on, man, kids are watching, including me, age 4. The orphans threaten the Warriors, and then Swan makes a Molotov cocktail out of Mercy's skirt and throwing it at the car in front of the orphans. So the Warriors can make their escape. The Warriors run with Mercy because Swan kind of likes her a little bit. They make it to the train, and the Riffs hear that the orphans ran into the Warriors, letting them know where they are. We're back with Luther calling in another phone call, telling him where the Warriors are. Luther says they can meet him at the next train station, so they get in their car and begin to make their way down. There the Warriors are in the train station, waiting for them to get past their stop so they can continue on their route back to Coney. When they hear footsteps, turns out it's a cop, so the Warriors have to make a break for it. The cops chase after the Warriors, and it's here where they get split up. Rembrandt, Vermin, and Cochise going one way, Swan, Cowboy, and Ajax going in another, and Mercy and Fox trying to catch up with the other Warriors. It's here where Fox gets jumped by cops and tells Mercy to run. The cop and Fox get into a tussle where they eventually roll onto the tracks as a train is passing by, killing both of them. Vermin, Rembrandt, and Cochise make it to the train in time, but the others are less fortunate, making it out of the subway. It's here where they are met with the leader of a rival gang, the Baseball Furies. The Warriors make a run for it, with the Furries chasing close after them. They keep on running for a long time, but they can't seem to shake the Furies. Eventually, Ajax gets tired of running and decides, screw it, it's time to fight. And the Warriors and the Furies face off, once and for all. After all the fighting, they finally make it through all of the Furies. Rembrandt, Cochise, and Vermin make it to Union Station and realize the others haven't made it yet, but they do see a large group of women with them at the station, and they decide since they have time to kill, they're gonna go and see if any of them want to have a date, is what we'll say. The rest of the Warriors are still walking through the park where they find a woman that's not Mercy, as Mercy lost the Warriors in the station. And Swan tells Ajax that they don't have time to stop, but Ajax stops to talk to her anyway. He asks if she's feeling alright, and she tells him to sit down, and she starts flirting with Ajax. Snow and Cowboy decide they should go make sure Ajax is alright after separating from him. And Swan continues to look for the others. It's here where Ajax starts rough handling the nice lady, and she tells him to stop, but he doesn't, and she handcuffs Ajax to the bench and blows a whistle, and the cops pull up, and Ajax, defiant as ever, starts swinging at the cops. He manages to take one down, but the other hits him with his nightstick, and Snow and Cowboy make it just in time to see Ajax get arrested. Swan makes it back to the station, where he runs into Mercy, who tells him Fox is dead. Mercy says she'll lead the way to the train, and the two make it to the train stop, where they run into a cop, and Swan throws his baseball bat at the officer's shins. And the two go on the tracks to run to the next stop. Vermin, Cochise, and Rembrandt are led to the base of the female gang called the Lizzies, and they say they are going to party, and the Warriors can have their pick of their members. Vermin and Cochise take a pick of the women, but Rembrandt decides not to partake. For years, of the fans of the film theorized that Rembrandt was gay, and in 2017, during an interview, director Walter Hill actually confirmed the theories about the artistic warrior's sexuality, which is actually cool that a gang movie from the 70s is so progressive. Swan and Mercy are still making their way down the train tracks, where they exchange names with each other, and they have a small little fight, and Swan does more slut-shaming, and Mercy tells him that he's known better, and she's proud of her lifestyle, and she has nothing to be ashamed for. And they exchange a kiss, and Swan accepts her as a person and kisses her a little more. Vermin is going to town on one of the Lizzies, and two of the women are dancing together. It's widely believed that a lot of the Lizzies are lesbian. Walter Hill also had a gang in the script that he regrets cutting out because the movie could have been a lot more progressive and inclusive, because the gang named the Dingoes were going to be a fully gay outfit. I really love how much director Walter Hill supported women in the LGBTQ even in the 70s. You don't really see a lot of that these days watching these old movies. Rembrandt sees one of the Lizzies lock the door, and the Lizzies say they know the warriors because they're the ones that shot Cyrus. And they realize the Lizzies are packed and want to cash in on the Rift's bounty on the warriors. And our heroes fight the Lizzies. Rembrandt gets cut, but they escape with little injuries. They patch up Rembrandt, and he reveals to the others that the gangs thinks they shot Cyrus. Swan and Mercy make it to Union Square, where a rival gang on roller skates named the Punks start following Swan. Snow and Cowboy make it to the other warriors, where they tell the others that the cops got Ajax. They don't know where Swan is. Mercy realizes the Punks are following Swan, and she tells him the Punks are following. And Swan reveals he knew that they were following him. He just didn't want to give away that he knew that. And now his cover's blown, but the warriors catch up to Swan and Mercy, and finally the gang is reunited, save for a couple of casualties along the way. Swan motions for the other warriors to go into the men's bathroom, and Swan says sorry for being mean to Mercy. And the other two go into the men's room where the Punks follow. The Punks then proceed to search the bathroom for the remaining warriors in the stalls. And then the head punk opens a door and Rembrandt sprays paint in his face, kicking off the coolest fight scene in the movie. I mean, look at this. The Rifts meet with someone who says they saw who really shot Cyrus. It's not revealed who it was. The warriors make it to the last train to Coney Island, the last stretch. It's here where two couples making it back from prom board the train, and they slowly realize they're on the wrong train. Mercy tries to fix her hair, but Swan stops her, silently telling her that she's good the way she is, and she doesn't need to change for anyone. The teens get off the train, and one drops her corsage. The warriors are finally home on Coney Island, and Swan gives the corsage to Mercy. Swan has a bittersweet moment saying he's upset Coney was what they fought for all night, and he should just skip town. Mercy says she likes to travel. The gang continues to try to get to their hideout, and the sun is rising, and they're almost home. But Luther and the Rogues are patrolling Coney in their car looking for the warriors. The warriors continue on their way as the Rogues follow. Swan realizes they're being followed by the Rogues, and they hide in an underpass. Swan tells Mercy to run, but she's sticking with the warriors because she can handle it. Cue the coolest scene in the movie.
Warriors, come out to play. Warriors, come out to play.
Which, if you watched a lot of Cartoon Network in the 2010s, you might be thinking, why does that sound familiar? Well, the episode of a regular show entitled Picking Up Margaret is in fact heavily inspired by the Warriors, and the gang telling Mordecai to put his phone away is inspired by Luther specifically. Swan decides to make a move, so the Warriors go to the beach where the Rogues meet up with them for their final face-off. Swan asks Luther why he wasted Cyrus, and possibly the coldest moment in history of film. Luther says, "No reason, I just like doing things like that." Swan says he wants to take Luther one-on-one. Luther pulls a gun on Swan, but guess what? Razor Boy's back from boarding school. Oh yeah! Probably like two of you are gonna get that reference. The Gramercy Rifts approach the warriors on the bench. It's a cool little detail that despite the Rifts being a large outfit and having searched for the warriors all night, the Rifts still aren't wearing their colors on the warriors' turf, because they respect them too much. Swan asks the Rifts if they're still looking for him, and the Rifts say no, Luther's who they want. The Rifts say Luther and the Rogues are theirs, and let the warriors go. And as Luther screams no, the Rifts waste him. As In the City by Joe Walsh plays, the warriors walk out into the morning on the beach of Coney Island, and the credits roll. So yeah, that's The Warriors. Growing up, it was one of my favorite movies, and I'm realizing now it probably is my favorite movie. And it was really pleasant realizing how progressive the movie was, other than Ajax, and his use of a certain word, which always catches me off guard. I realized this movie actually means a lot more to me than I initially remembered. I am definitely going to try to watch it more. Every time In the City plays as they walk down the beach, it gets me in the feels. It's like we made it home, you know? It really feels like you were a part of the gang all along. The cinematography, the soundtrack, the feeling of 1970s New York, the different gangs, it's just, God, I love it. To me, it's the perfect movie. Nothing could possibly make it more perfect. to me. This movie means a lot to me, and I don't think I really realized that until this very second. Thank you all for watching this video, if you did watch it. If you liked it, hit the like button down below. Comment if you've seen The Warriors, or if you haven't, you know, we don't judge here. Recently, we got monetized, which is donkey nuts insane. But more than that, we hit a sniper spree and opened up a membership program. So if you have the money and you want to support us, it would really mean a lot. It's only $2.99 a month for the lowest tiers, Spider Peters. And you get cool rewards like special members only messages from me and Goomty. You also get loyalty badges next to your name for comments and live streams. You get a priority reply to comments and shoutouts at the end of our videos. If you want your name featured in my next video, be sure to sub to our membership program for just $2.99 every month. Our second tier, Man Parkers, you get all the stuff from that first tier, but you also get early access to new videos, status updates, members only videos that no one else will ever see for just $6.99 a month. And our third tier, Doug Basham Supreme, which is $24.99 a month. You get all the stuff as all that stuff from before, as well as gameplay with us, connecting with us on social media. So yeah, that third tier is really the one you want if you have the money and want to give. Anyway, if you don't have the money, don't give to us. But if you do have the money, you really should go all out. But no, in all seriousness, if you have $3 or even $7 to spare every month, it would really help us out. You really don't want to miss out on this opportunity. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching this video, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good morning, and good night.
Good news, boppers. The big alert has been called off. It turns out that the early reports were wrong. All wrong. Now, for that group out there that had such a hard time getting home, sorry about that. I guess the only thing we can do is play you a song.